Pain seems to play a large factor in whatever I do for content. The people who watch me love it, people everywhere around the world love it, so incidentally, I did a challenge that would turn out great. For you guys. To go a little into the background of this challenge, we have to go back about 15 years ago, where the PS3 was sort of in its working days, putting out hits that Sony refuses to acknowledge or let live again. The PS Move had just released, sparking up a total of 10 excited people who couldn't afford a Wii. And with that came the final release of the Resistance franchise a year later. Fortunately for me, my dad and brother decided to pick up this bundle that included the whole plastic gun and PS Move setup so we can use that at our disposal. Did we ever use it? Probably not a day in our lives. I don't remember a single instance in which we used this thing for its intended purpose. I actually have photos of the gun sitting around my house because I used to just play with it like it was a normal toy. Luckily, we wouldn't know that it would help me almost a decade and a half after its release. So that leads us to present day, where I took on the challenge to complete Resistance 3 using only the motion gun. I'm also going to be doing this challenge on hard because I think doing this game on normal or easy would be just too boring, but it made for some interesting moments. So without further ado, let's see how this wonderful challenge went. Before we can get to the pain aspect that a lot of you sadists are looking forward to, we need to establish the beginning of this whole thing. Let's start off by pointing out the obvious, and that's me standing in the corner looking like an absolute moron. I felt so odd standing up in front of a camera. I felt like I was doing a theater class where I was just presenting a project in front of a bunch of friends. Apart from that, the setup was just absolutely scuffed. It was so funny to me. I actually took a picture of it during stream. I'll pop up the picture on screen right now, and taking a look at it, there was a lot of things I had to do to make this work. First, I had to turn my monitor completely to the side so I can actually see what I was playing. Secondly, I borrowed a giant light that my mom had bought recently, which I lucked out on, because without that, I'd look god-awful without any lighting. After that, it was just setting up my mic close enough to where I could be heard, but listening back on it, I just sound far away. It wasn't the best, but it worked. I'm just happy I was home alone for this whole thing because I had to talk louder than I normally like. Lastly, the part that makes me laugh a little inside is the PS Move camera you definitely need so you can play the game. I had to get books from around my house and prop this thing up so it can look directly at me and also work with the gun. Luckily, in the end, it all worked well, is what I would say if that was true, because this game was still torture to play. Right as I started, I could already see the trouble outlining my future. Moving around wasn't hard at all, aiming my gun and shooting wasn't a big problem. What was the problem was the camera placement. You see, normally when you play a game, you can move in any direction you want with your left thumb on the controller, and you can use your right thumb to look at the place you want to move. The problem with this thing is that in order to move the camera itself, I have to move my entire body either left or right till I position the camera well enough